or 6 years. Um, and along the way, I'll share some golden nuggets that you can use for this particular hackathon as well. Right. So over the past few years, as I mentioned, I joined around 4 times, four UiPath specific hackathons, but only get to win award 50% of those, uh, like two out of four. But again, so yes, it's a fair share of losses and wins. And again, I wouldn't say those as losses, but rather learning opportunities. And let me start for the first hackathon that I joined last 2018. If I can share my screen. Um, Share my screen right here. Okay, so I want to tell you a story about this, where in back in 2018, it was just pure RPA, right? Screenscaping, robots, studio, orchestrator, the core RPA components, no ML skills, no AI center during that time, right? And I'm very proud to share that the component that I built is one of the very first ML-based component in UiPath, and in fact gave way as well to the many others that was released over the years. Talking about specialized models that can be used inside workflows like text classification, image classification, object detection, or sentiment analysis. So this particular submission that I did for this particular hackathon is a ticket classifier, email triaging for customer service support, and that's the I think only ML based component during that time. Um, so and I'm happy to share that I've won the third place in the machine learning UiPath special prize that time. And what is the my main takeaway from this, right? So my main takeaway from this is don't be afraid to um, get intimidated to try out new things, right? My first tip that I want to share, having this experience joining my first hackathon during 2018, where there's no ML based components yet. I don't be afraid to be intimidated to try out new things, whether it's machine learning based AI or multimodal sort of capabilities. All those bleeding edge and cutting edge technologies, try it out, right? Because you never know. You might one of you might get the $1 million idea, not only just for this hackathon, but something that you can build as a product itself that's not been thought of yet in the market, that can eventually be uh, $1 million story about a company that was built from ground up using this new capabilities offered by agents or any AI-based component, right? So that's my very first tip, right? And that's 2018, right? And the next hackathon that I joined was like around 4 years later, and there's a reason for that. And because around late 2018 or early 2019, I joined UiPath um, to be part of their sales engineering team, right? And then I left around 4 years later to join my current company, Cubotica, here in the US. And at that time, there's also a few months after I joined, there's also this hyper hack. They started in 2022. So that's I took that opportunity to join. And this is where things get started a bit like busier, and things started to getting more south. In fact, the next two hackathons that I joined, I lost. I didn't get any award. But main thing is I didn't give up, right? Because if I did, I would be here sharing with you the most recent success story that I had with the most recent hackathon last year. So this is where those what I wish I'd known back then comes in. So what I want to share with you. So let me tell you a backstory first. So again, in 2022, I moved to the US along with my family. And at that time, my firstborn is around 2 years old. And uh, having moved recently to the US, what's the most vital or essential necessity that you need for your kid? Of course, it's food, right? In my case, for my 2-year-old son, it would be baby formula, right? So because few things that we need to consider. One, he's not breastfed, so that's number one. And number two, he has a condition where it requires he needs a non-hypoallergenic type of baby formula, organic formula, on a specific brand that's only available in the Philippines, as we know, right? Now, that said, I had to do a lot of research on what could be the best alternative, and of course, that fits our budget, right? And most importantly, adding to the burden, there was a baby formula outage at that time, so price is on the rise, right? So there's couple of factors or couple of challenges regarding this movement, and also regarding the having a small kid. So now I'm coming to the solution, right? So this solution was very near and dear to me. So that's why this idea came up. So I didn't forget to innovate, right? The actual challenges, actual pain points that I currently have. Um, but then I realized it's just about it. It's not just about that, right? So the solution that I built that time is I call it Formula One. So this is I created a unified console so that parents or would-be parents would have easier resource or access to search for baby formula on the cheapest price in the market. And as you can see, it provides a unified pane to easily search for the cheapest and fastest available baby formula in one console, and additional tips as well to help save significant amount of time or money through, let's say, coupons or recommendations or baby registries or milk donations. So what it would do, so that's a front end. So there's a dashboard right there built using UiPath apps, and the back end is the robots that consolidates baby inventory across different retailers or wholesalers like Costco, Bye Bye Baby, Amazon, Walmart, Target, and pushes it into the data service that syncs on hourly basis. And this can be scaled using Elastic Robot Orchestration. And again, this would be useful for moms and dads, single parents, would be parents that they're the main persona, right? I mean, that's my that's my current challenge at that time. So I think that's quite near and dear to me, and they can interact with dashboards so they can easily find the best and cheapest alternative, right? So that's the overall solution, right? But again, this time I didn't get any award for this, which is again not I didn't consider a loss but a learning opportunity, because and the question is why, right? Um, at that time, I realized I missed one key critical ingredient, and that is number one, being too complacent. Let's say I just built it again all by myself. That's one, and that's where I believe why this solution didn't get that mileage it deserved. And why 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 is it important? Why is it important that I shouldn't have just built it myself? Because as a developer myself, I focused on the technical aspects of it, right? Without focusing much on, let's say, user experience, without focusing much on how it can scale to provide benefits not only to individual parents, but solve the underlying costs, which is the supply chain, right? It's not solving the underlying costs. It's only sort of a band-aid where they can find. It's not solving the shortage. It's not solving the supply chain shortage, which is more business centric. It's more focused on the consumer, right? But we have to solve both, right? And that's another thing. So here comes tip number two, which is two or more. I would say two or more brains are more powerful, of course, than one, right? Um, and because having only built myself, I didn't have that kind of brainstorming how we can make this like UX friendly, or the scalability aspect of it, or the impact of it. So in this second tip that I want to share with you is you have to build a balanced team, right? It's not um even if you are the best developer, UiPath developer coder out there, like 99% um top 19 top sorry top 1% UiPath developer, um as compared to a team having a balanced set of skills, right? I would go for that team any day, right? Because that team, that ideal team should have, so of course, at least one developer, right? One business function focused person, and or at least one UX designer, or someone that or solution architect that could really take a look at the solution holistically and make sure that it's very impactful, not only on a marginalized demographic, and also make sure that your solution can scale, and can really impact a lot of individuals, not only individuals but also businesses as well, right? Um, and adoption is key for your product, right? Um, so having like uh, very not so much, not so good user UX would mean users won't be using your solution, right? Rather, it will look out for other solutions with similar capabilities. So UX is very important. So those are the key aspects that are really important, that as a developer cannot do with just by himself alone, right? So that's why build a balanced team. Two or more brains are powerful than one. So that's my second tip, right? Okay, so now going to the year after that, I I also joined uh, this hackathon in the 2023. Um, so for this submission, right? Now I realize yeah, I should have built a team. I shouldn't have done it myself. So of course, I built a team. So for this particular event, I recruited only one. So one uh, for this hackathon. Um, so the solution that we built is um, what we call LLM plus automation framework. So around this time, Gen AI got into mainstream. Although years prior to that, there's already um, OpenAI Gen 1 and Gen 2 models that are already there for text completion and all that. But during this year, large language models, generative AI really become mainstream, right? So what we built is one of the first, if not the first framework in UiPath that implemented LangChain. So LangChain uh, is an SDK, not just SDK, but also uh, um, framework that you can use to build LLM-based applications or agents using Python or JavaScript, and has integrations as well to different like vector stores, vector databases, or different tools. So it's a coded framework, so you can build LLM-based application. So what we built is uh, a framework that you can use in UiPath Studio to build um, LLM-based automations. For example, RAG-based processes, retrieval augmented generation-based processes for knowledge-based ingestion, let's say from documents in CSV, PDF, Word, or even YouTube videos, right? So you can use this framework like um, RE framework, right? I designed it as an equivalent to UiPath's RE framework, but with additional custom activities for knowledge ingestion, um, for context injection using ask with context. So these are custom activities. You can specify the large language model, and it will create an LLM chain at the code in the back end. But these are drag and drop activities that you can use using this LLM framework template within Studio. So you don't have to code it yourself. You don't have to code RAG implementation. Um, so this was last 2023, and the framework included very detailed documentation as well as pre-built use cases and reusable templates. It supports both conversational and transactional, because you have use cases that you'd like to converse with your chat with your data, right? And you can build, let's say, a form or UiPath apps to and use the conversational uh, aspect of this template. And also you can use this as transactional, right? You can ingest from queues. Let's say new documents came in, push into the queue. It will use this framework to push that into the knowledge ingestion to serialize or the to vectorize the document, and then use that as a context using the another activity. So you can use it both conversational and transactional, right? There's a pretty detailed documentation out there, although recently I haven't been able to update yet. And again, this despite its use and innovation that time, I uh, I still didn't win any awards that year, right? And it's something I really deeply reflected and on, and honestly, it kept me awake that night. But again, that's it's fine, because this is another very important learning opportunity for me, and that's why I want to share with you the number three tip, right? Which comes along with this, right? Tip number three is um, presentation is key, right? Do not just build. You have to tell the story of your solution, right? No matter how cutting edge or bleeding edge, or how detailed or how elaborate the solution that you have, no matter how much effort you put into the documentation, the I would say first impressions last, right? So when you get to the, let's say, finals, right? That's you only have Imagine you only have 5 minutes to present and do the demo. And during that course of 5 minutes, that's the only time that you can pitch and really say and tell the story and about the value of your automation of your solution and how you build it, and really encourage them uh, to entice them with your solution, right? Even if you work for it for the past 2 or 3 or more weeks, it all boils down with a 5 minute presentation, and that's why that's really important, is telling the story about your solution, making sure that it's really compelling, that the judges, you can blow away the minds of the judges, right? So that's my third tip, right? Uh so so that's it. So 2023, and now comes 20 um
2025. I just accepted your submission.
no,
Yay!
yeah, thanks for that. So we have of course, the most recent one is 2024.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, 2024. This is also like a very exciting um, part of my hackathon journey, because this is where I got the chance to like accumulate all the learnings that I had so far over the years. A quick recap is first one is don't don't get intimidated by new things. Don't be afraid to try out new things. Innovate. Second one is build a balanced team. Two or more brains are definitely better than one. And number three is don't just build, tell your story. So I get the chance to put everything into practice. I learned from years of this several years of losses and wins. So I built a balanced team, prioritize user-centric innovation. Last but not the least, telling the story succinctly and effectively, right? So the solution that we built for last year's hackathon, which have finally has won us the top the first prize last year, is what we call Taskmaster, right? Taskmaster is you can think of it as a voice enabled assistant, where it can join your meetings as, let's say, a virtual person, right? A virtual person join your meetings, and it can take what it does is it listens in to real-time conversation like group meetings in Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and it identifies actionable tasks and executes them promptly, right? You might have seen solutions where like there are solutions in the market out there that joins the meeting, like for example, Read.ai, but their only job is to listen in, and at the end it will send a summary, and that's it, right? But in this case, it's actually something that you can interact with, like how you can interact with ChatGPT individually, but with voice. So that's one. And also you can interact with as a group. And again, the main purpose is it being able to join the meeting. Let's say you have a meeting about an HR work stream where you have a couple of agenda for that meeting. So you can have this assistant join, and and it will it will be like a fly on the wall or a ninja that's just there, right? And it listens in, and as soon as it identifies a task, um, in fact, I can show you. This is the sequence diagram of it. So once it identified a task, it will, of course, first try to confirm if this is indeed a task that needs to be executed. And this is important that you have to provide confirmation so that it won't just go rogue and do any sorts of things. So confirmation, provide confirmation from the attendees is important, and then it will perform the task, execute it, and then provide the completion response. Right. So this distinction is very important, being able to execute, not only do summarization, but also able to um, action on the task itself so that you don't have to do anything after the meeting, right? The agent will do it for you as the meeting progresses, and that's the really that's the main idea of this particular solution that we have built, right? And we applied it into a real world scenario that I'll show right now. Um, but before I show that, so just a few things. Again, how we applied the tips that I provided. So I definitely built a strong team, a balanced team for this. So we are three members, three-member team. I'm the main architect and developer. So there's one business focused person to to uh, to focus on the UX or to focus on the use case that is impactful, and I have another one acting as a developer, UiPath developer, and um, for the UX as well, right? So one or two developers, one business focus, and one UX focus for this particular submission. And telling the story. So it's important. As I said, we chose a use case that is a real world use case that we want to try this out as part of the demo so that we can present it succinctly and effectively during the final presentation. And of course, innovation, right? The first step, innovation. We during this time, OpenAI released their real-time API, real-time model that is a very low latency model used for voice interaction, right? So it's not via HTTP, so it's through WebSocket. So it's like bidirectional uh, through WebSocket. So it's very low latency. Um, you cannot just use the standard LLM model through HTTP because that will take time in sending the request and getting the request. So this is through WebSocket server using the real-time model. Um, and you can interrupt it as well. So you can interrupt it while it's speaking, if you change your mind or something. So that's the innovation there. So the newly released real-time model. So we leverage it and incorporated it in our solution. And of course, UiPath, the tools that the actual automations that the agent will perform are through UiPath Robot.js, and also Autopilot to trigger it. And tools are key aspect um, on this solution, because without the tools, the agent is nothing. It's just conversing with the agent, right? So that's why automations using UiPath and integrations with the different applications through UiPath is very important on this solution. Right? So now for the demo, let me see if I can share my. Um, I'm not sure if the sound is can be.
It should be, I think.
Let me reshare my screen just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Share. Okay. Sound, share sound. Screen 2. Okay. Let me play this demo for you. Great.
Okay,
Go.
good morning, good afternoon, everybody.
Okay. Did you hear the sound?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. So setting the stage. There's a meeting going on, and they will ask Taskmaster to join the call, and then so that as a both a note taker and action taker, right? Not only note taker but also action taker. So that I'll show you this real quick.
Can you guys hear me? We're going to kick
Yes, we
off
can hear you.
the HR onboarding call. I already see Russ and Davey on the call. So yeah, I'm from the SAP group, and let's just make sure we have participation from all the groups.
Great. Yeah. Hi, Chitu and Debbie. I'm Russell from IT team. And if you don't mind, I'll just add Taskmaster the call. So this is tool that we created that can listen to our group conversation and identifies tasks as we go along, and gets them done in a jiffy while the group conversation keeps rolling.
No problem. I'm from California, so I give you a consent to listen to my
Great.
conversation. Yeah.
Hi, this is Devi from HR team.
Oh, great. We can hear you.
Hello, I'm Q, your upbeat and reliable assistant, here to help you streamline tasks and manage your to-dos efficiently.
Great. I think we're all set. What agenda items do we have, Debbie?
Yeah, so we have 3 action items in today's meeting. The first one, we have shortlisted some candidates for whom we have to send out interview scheduling. And the second task is to set up onboarding process for a candidate who accepted the offer. And we also need to send out a welcome kit and training email to the new joining. So let's start with the first action item. So we have shortlisted 40 candidates for 3 positions of UiPath Solution Architect.
Is this the candidate that you're referring to that's in the SharePoint?
Yes, Russ, that's the one. So we need to schedule interview appointments with the hiring managers based on the job location. Can you help with that?
Absolutely. I can schedule interview appointments with the hiring managers and candidates. Please confirm if I should use the candidate list from the SharePoint file named candidates.csv.
Yes, please go ahead.
Great. It looks like it's starting to schedule the appointments.
The interview appointments have been successfully scheduled with the hiring managers and candidates using the candidates list from the SharePoint file. The hiring managers should see the invites on their calendars soon.
Perfect. I see the invites. I'll make sure to leave the feedback in the system after each round. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yes, let's start with the next task. So by the way, Jean, one of our top candidates of TPM role accepted the offer.
No, that's great. Awesome. So we can do the greenfield migration for the SAP customer project very soon.
Yes, I forwarded you all an email with the candidate information. If you're okay, let's move forward with their onboarding process.
Sure.
Great. To proceed with the onboarding process, may I have the subject of the email you sent with the candidate information? This will help me initiate the onboarding procedure for the new hire.
Sure. I just got the email. It contains the job ID 72728.
So it looks like it's starting to get the information from the email.
Yeah, we love this. We love this, Rush, from the IT team. You guys are making our jobs easier and easier every day.
Nice,
The
nice.
new hire details have been successfully fetched from the email, and the onboarding procedure for IT access, HR benefits, and procurement has been initiated. A ServiceNow ticket has been created with the number REQ001001. Everything is in motion.
Okay, she says REQ 10017. Let me check that real quick.
Sure, take your time. If you need further assistance, just let me know.
There you go. I see. I found it. I see this ticket. the asset system request, the account and access permission should be ready for day one. Great. Maybe anything else?
Yeah, that sounds good. So let's start with the last task. Let's initiate the welcome email orientation and gift selection then.
I think she's onto it now. Okay, so that's I think you are able to see the the idea there and the solution that we built. Sorry, let me get back to the call. The this one. So that's the submission that we had on during the last hackathon. And again, we're happy to share that we won the first prize for this because we didn't forget to make sure we innovate, we build a balanced team, and made sure that it's very user experience focused. It's seamless. We want it to be as seamless as possible, and it's differentiate from any product in the market out there. And so we're continuously making improvements on this solution after that after the hackathon that time. So that's yeah. So we've been doing all other sorts of things with this type of technology. So I hope that ends my story, and I hope that really helped. Or yeah.
Thank you very much. I really, really love your story, and you already know that. And I remember you and the team presenting the idea last year. So I'm really happy that I got to see the the presentation again. I really, really loved it and all the ideas. And I like the fact that you shared with us that you not only win, but you also learn, which is a very important part of this process. Maybe the most important part in this process. There was a question related to the team in the chat. Just one second. Can you please list the balance team roles again? I'm not sure
Sure.
if you relisted them already or not.
I can reiterate the team, the balance team. Of course, you have one technical coder or developer. So this first one. The second one is, of course, one that focuses on the UX, the user experience, right? And something that can work with the third persona in the team, which is the business focused person, who will help or give direction on the use case and focus on the impact, and can work together with the UX person so that you can tell a really compelling story for your presentation, right? So one technical, one UX, and one business focus. So technical can be both the designer or architect, which focuses on the technical aspect, and the UX plus the business focused or use case focused person will be on the functional side of the equation. So
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I put it in the chat as well. Yeah, so in your first hackathon, you worked solo, and then in the following years, you worked in a team. Yes, that's
yeah, so 2018 I worked solo. The first one that I joined is a 2018. It's called Power Up Automation. Back then, so I worked that solo, and the next time I joined, which is 2022, around 4 years after, I also had it solo. So yeah, and the following year I worked with one member, 2023. So that's the LLM framework. Yeah. And I saw a question related to the LLM plus automation framework. There's no such thing as a duplicate idea, because I would say any idea is unique because you cannot have the exact same, even if I call my submission or idea as an LLM automation framework, the way that you will build it, even if you name it the same, will be unique to how you implemented it and how you understand about the impact, the UX, and all that. So that's why that's important, right? How you really tell the story, how impact of your solution, because that time, as I said, the learning I had during that time, which is 2023, where we built the LLM automation framework, we focused on the technical detail. We created a detailed documentation, used the latest and greatest framework, LangChain. But what we lack is the overall story and what's really the impact that it can deliver. We tried to squeeze in as much technical features as we can, so we are not able to focus on specific function or specific sizable impact that this solution has. So there are a couple of use cases that we discussed. So there's nothing targeted, but so in short, to answer the question that you have, Amit, as I said, if that's the idea that you're thinking, you don't consider it as a duplicate, as long as that you see that you determine that there's a you phrase it into a story that's very compelling and very impactful. I think that still has a high chance of winning. I hope that helps.
I think it did. I think it did. There's another question related to does UiPath provide a marketplace to sell the products created from the hackathons, especially for those who are not prize winners? This is a very good question. So yes, we do have a marketplace. And most of the time I've seen components and parts that are put there for free. But as per my knowledge, you can also put a price on them. But this is so the solutions are typically offered for free, but you can put a price on it. But this is something also that needs to be discussed with the organization that you work for, if they have any proprietary, I think it's called, rights on those ideas. This is not my area of knowledge. It's deeply far from what I do, but you can make money with your idea, but you need to see with your organization how to do that. That's the response that I can offer.
Yeah, that's great. And probably to add to that as well, because I had a fair share of components as well in Marketplace, although it's very old, custom activities. All of them are free. And the difference between a free component versus a paid component is paid component, they should provide support. They should provide like official support. Usually like partners or ISV create their components and their company will provide support. So these are tagged as, let's say, bronze or gold, and are usually paid. Right? Some of them are free, but most of my component that I have submitted there are all of them are free, because I don't really have time to dedicate or commit in supporting some of these components. But yeah, so even this one, the LLM automation framework, it's there. It's out there as well. It's provided for free. Even the custom activities, the LangChain based activities are there, and you can find some of the YouTube videos as well. But given that UiPath already has integrated or incorporated like context grounding, Gen AI activities, I don't think you really need to use this there's no sense in using this older tools anymore because it's already embedded in the UiPath platform, and that's really one of the best things that UiPath is doing is really keeping up to speed to date with all these technologies. Like the ideas that are from the hackathon, like usually they use that to improve the product because these are really important capabilities that are really providing impact. So I'll be proud if your components that you built either through marketplace or through hackathons are something that UiPath will implement in the future as well. So
Thank you, Russell. Let's see, 2 more questions, and then I think we will need to close today's session. First one is, in any use case we are building, is it okay to have 20-40% manual efforts or should be fully autonomous with no human interaction? This is a great question. So I think from my perspective, and I will leave then Russell to leave his perspective as well, I think it depends on the use case and the business value and the risk tolerance. So basically, if the human judgment is critical, I don't know, if it's related to compliance or decision making, then yeah, I think that some part of manual effort is definitely acceptable. So like putting the human in the loop. It's not a flaw, it's a feature that UiPath has, and you can use it if it's needed. Otherwise, if it's rule-based, if it's well documented and something that's already stable and the data is clean and the data is structured, then there is no need to have the human in the loop. So maybe Russell, if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, I completely agree, and also it's also I think part of the like one of the criteria or one of the capabilities that you can incorporate in your solution is human in the loop. Um, as long as it provides business value or impact, like you can definitely add human in the loop in your solution, right? No matter what it is. Right? So
Thank you. And can we say any solution based on LLM and framework like LangChain and UiPath Studio that save time, cost, increases the quality in business case or add some business value would be an accepted one? I cannot say if it would be an accepted one or not for sure. I mean, we do need to see the idea and the solution. I can say that it can be a strong and eligible entry, that's for sure. It doesn't need to be complex. It needs to demonstrate the value that it brings, the impact, the real world impact that it has, and that is it. But I cannot say that this is definitely accepted. Okay, so I think that we got all the questions. You have everything in the chat, the pages, the resources. We also have a resource page on the AgentHack page, so you can also find resources there. We will have another session like this one on the 18th of June. I will make it live in a few days. So we can also meet then if you have any questions. If not, we can talk in the forum thread for sure. And I really hope to see all of you in the finals. I hope to see your submissions, and we are here for anything that you might need. And thank you, Russell, for taking the time today to share your story with you. It was a delight for me, and I can hear it anytime, any place, because it's truly an inspiring story, and you are an inspiring person. Thank you very much, all of you. Have a great day and evening.
thank you. Thanks everyone. Thanks Andrea.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.